you. Genesis 32:26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And let me just say that again. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Bless me. Bless me. Bless me. Short subject for today. I will not let thee go unless you bless me. Tell your neighbor, I want the Lord to bless me. I want the Lord to bless me. Genesis 32, verses 22 to 29. And he rose up that night and he took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford of Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent them over with what he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there he wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For a prince has power with God and with men, and ye have prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore it is that thou doest ask me thy name. And he blessed him there. Sometimes we have to wrestle with ourselves before we can get blessed by God. Sometimes we have to shake off some things before we can be blessed by God. Let me go back up to Brother Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are among the most significant people in the Old Testament. It is important to realize their significance is not based upon their personal character. They were all men who earned grudging respect, even fears from their peers. They were wealthy and powerful, and yet each was capable of lying, deceit, and selfishness. They were not the perfect heroes as we have expected. Instead, they were just like us, trying to please God, but often falling short. Jacob was the third link in God's plan to start a nation from Abraham. The success of that plan was more often in spite of, because of Jacob's life. Before Jacob was born, God promised that his plan would be worked out through Jacob and not through his twin brother Esau. Although Jacob's methods were not respectable, his skill and his determination and his practices were admired. As we follow him from birth to death, we are able to see God's work. Jacob's life had 4 stages. each marked a personal encounter with God. In the first stage, Jacob lived up to his name, which means he grasps the heel. Figuratively, it means he's a deceiver. He grabbed Esau's heel at birth. And by the time he fled from home, he had also grabbed Esau's birthright and blessings. During his flight, God first appeared to him. Not only did God confirm to Jacob his blessings, but he awakened in Jacob as a personal knowledge of himself. In the second stage, Jacob's experience in his life changed. The Jacob that was changed simply went to live with his uncle Laban. Where Jacob, stage 2, was beginning. After deciding to leave, he waited 6 years on God's permission. In the third stage, Jacob was in a new role as a grabber. By this time, he was by the Jordan River, and he grabbed onto God and wouldn't let go. And he realized his dependence on God, who had continued to bless him. In this relationship, God became very essential in his life. He was maimed. Many of you, God has to cripple sometimes. You know, it's crippling when you can't go in your wallet and pull out a 50. It's crippling when you don't have no money to put in the gas tank and you have to get change to make up a dollar. That's crippling. And it's also crippling when you go to your bank account and all of your money has been seized. That's crippling. It's also crippling when you go to your cabinets and can't get any oodles or noodles. That's crippling. It's also crippling when you have to put on the same shoe that your toe constantly goes out of. That's crippling. But Jacob, he wrestled with God until God had to cripple him. Saints, don't let God cripple y'all. Y'all know you don't pray. And if you're fasting, you know that you shouldn't be watching TV, but you do. You shouldn't be having sex, but you do. But God's going to cripple that thing. And you're going to wish to God you had given him all you... Don't get nervous now. Don't get nervous now, boy. She's there. It's amazing how I can grasp your attention when I say the 3-letter word. Do you want to see everybody's having sex? If everybody in this is having sex. But I ain't going to talk about sex today. I'll talk about sex, we'll be here all day. Y'all want me to talk about sex, but I'm not going to talk about sex because everybody's having sex, elder. But there's a few chosen people in here that's